Hey, 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 welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yeah, let's start. Let me just say, I am Nina, dialing in for Save the Caribbean. I have kind of the same background as Goldie, kind of. And this is awesome Goldie Love dialing in from LA. Want to
Yay.
give us a little bit of an introduction, girl?
Hello. I'm from LA and I am Goldie Love. And I'm here with the fantastic, inspiring Nina. And we're talking about life expansion, personal development, neuroplasticity, all these wonderful things that most people are like, what are they talking about? I don't know, but they seem to be having so much fun. So let's join the conversation. So that's why we're here today.
Absolutely, absolutely. And me and Goldie is kind of, we never met, but we can literally spend like an hour and a half on the phone, you know, just talking about, did you hear about that? So it's super interesting. And mind blowing, because what happens too is that, because it's about sharing information, right? And it's about, you come across so many things in life, right? It's really going to, oh my gosh, really? It's like,
Oh my gosh,
yeah. So, but the purpose is actually, because I wanted to ask you, Goldie, because you are just setting up online, you are shifting it into like a new space to start to set up in, and I wanted to talk to you. How do you do this? Where do you start? Because it's a lot out there, right?
Yeah, it's great. I've been playing around with the Goldie Love brand, kind of playing around with it for a few years. And so now it's at the point of officially launching all that she does, education, publishing. Um, it's like expansion. And so the question of where to start, I mean, because there's a lot of tools out there that will teach you how to grow and develop and be a better person, be a more fulfilled person, be a more content person, how to contribute more in the world. There's a lot of different tools that you can use. And so how do you move in terms of putting your own individual voice to all this conversation and putting it out there? And so one of the areas where I started is a group called the Freedom Era. That was introduced to me. I saw Nina in Saba, who just seemed to be having such a fabulous time all the time. I'm like, what is this girl doing? Why am I not doing what she's doing? It's like, Nina, as well as some of her associates, it was like, wow, this looks fantastic. What's going on? So I inquired, and she got back to me. And so one of the ways that I've been able to participate with the Freedom Era is using some of their educational tools to help me launch my brand, my voice, get my voice out there into the world. And so this is where we're at right now. This is the reason we're having this conversation, to share with, I've been sharing with Nina some of the tools within the Freedom Era that I started to utilize. And so that's why we're here right now.
Yeah, amazing. And it's such a journey, right? And I also find it's also so important to find your steps, like figure out what needs to be done first and in what order, and because it's easy to get overwhelmed. It's very easy. It's a lot of things going out, so kind of to filter through. And I think that's also, I really agree with you, is that within the Freedom Era also is that it's one place, and now you start to really drill down on the different things. So tell me, what's your favorite? What's your what stands out within the educational platform for you?
Yeah, a couple teachers jumped out at me immediately. The one of the main ones being Gabby Kowalski. Awesome, fierce. I mean, this word is fierce. I was like, okay, Gabby. So the two areas where I jumped immediately into Gabby's training, because initially she talked a lot about leadership and moving into conscious leadership. It's like the difference between the old paradigms of leadership, which is what we're on the brink of, we're in right now, and it's on the brink of, we see where we are right now. I don't need to go into much detail, but it's not working. It's apparent these systems are not working. We don't know if they ever really fully worked, but they worked to a certain extent for some people. And so now they're breaking down. And so we're moving into a whole new, the age of Aquarius, as many people call it. And so this is a call to conscious leaders to come forth, to step into it. Step into it. You know, a lot of us have been sitting back, getting all sorts of training and education and going to workshops, traveling all over the world and having life experiences. And so now it's the opportunity, step into it. And so that is what, when I tuned in, dialed into Gabby's, that's what she was talking about right at the top. So I was like, okay, I'm listening to this lady. Yeah. And so one of the first areas we worked on, and I'll just do a quick screen share here. Hope this is the right document, because we talked about, oh, here we are. I have to check this button over here. Okay, we talked about what it is that Goldie Love wants to share. How does Goldie Love articulate this conscious revolution that's transpiring right now? Because everybody has a different way of talking about it. The way Nina talks about it is going to be different than the way Goldie talks about it, or the way that you talk about it, or the next person, the next teacher. And but you know, various voices are going to attract the attention of various people. So all of our voices are needed. And and this is, I am in the process, as a side note, of publishing my first book right now, which, so some of this background with regard to Goldie Love was already in place. And, you know, Goldie Love, people say, well, who is Goldie Love? And Goldie Love is actually a way of thinking. A way of being. It's a spiritual practice and a discipline. So anybody can step into Goldie Love, just as an idea, as a concept. And the brand message is I am. You know, there's all these people are like, who are you? What are you doing? And when you delve deeply into ancient spiritual teachings, you come to the realization, the essence of who you are. It's like Goldie or Tanya, which is my real name. That is the identity that I grew up, you know, my mom told me that was my name. And so that's how I entered into the world and started, you know, developing this persona based on that name. But the essence, the truth of who I am is the essence of the infinite intelligence. And so I am. And so once people really begin, some people have a sort of intellectual idea of what that means. But once you really, truly begin to identify as that and to live from that purview, it helps direct and guide the things that you do. And so that's the brand message overall. And why do I do that? For wealth, joy, balance, wellness. This is who we are, and this is our divine birthright. And I'm mentioning all this because these are the notes that I took when I was in this session, the initial session with Gabby. You know, one of the trainers that's in the freedom era. So that's why I'm sharing this information. And then we talked about our values and virtues, and what came through for Goldie is be open, loving, and flexible, think and perceive intelligently, create magic, remain humble, receive abundance, laugh continuously, give graciously, express gratitude. And then we talked about the 3 factors of your values. What do I spend my money on? Where do I spend my time? Even when I don't have enough money, where am I spending my money? Whatever that is, that's what I value. Same with my time. When I don't have time, what am I doing? Am I goofing off on Facebook? That's what I value. So some sort of connection, you know, and so these are the sorts of things that we talk about. And we talk about my tribe, you know, these are some of the things that I value living. I have to live in upscale neighborhoods in LA, and education, personal development, spiritual, mental, emotional, communication, connection, community. These are some of the things that I value. And so being attracted to other people that share my values is, you know, is what is going to strengthen my voice, empower my voice, while at the same time inspiring like-minded people like myself. And so, like I said, and this is kind of like a little, some of the bio of my Goldie Love. Once the book, I'm not talking about the book because, and I was just telling Nina, we're at kind of the final stages of, it's written, and but the publishing phase is a whole other phase. So we're at that point, and once it's out, then I will scream it from the rooftops. So, so anyway, let me stop this screen share and just like I said,
Amazing.
yeah, that's like a sneak peek of
Yeah.
you know, there's more that I can share about the information with Gabby, but any
It's
comment?
so powerful though, and it's like through that training you literally were able to start to really map out the different things that you need to think about, and you need to feel into it and make a decision on it, like where are you going with this, what's the purpose, why am I and how and who, and I cannot agree with you more. I mean, I was the same when I watched that training. I was like, I was literally blown away. I was just like, wow, this is huge. New Earth leadership, and now we're starting to you're stepping away from this me and myself and up, and you're stepping away from all that, and you're becoming like, what? How can I serve, and how? What is my purpose? You're stepping into this whole new way of thinking. And I actually remember I sat down. I was like, this is bigger than me. This is huge. And then I think I probably went swimming, probably knowing me. I'm like, okay, I need to go in the ocean. I need to float to figure this out.
It does, it becomes overwhelming. And I mean, I tear up because the second sort of workshop that I participated in with Gabby, and you guys forgive me here because I'm trying to get the right screens available to share with you. And no, that's the one I just had. Let me see if I can get the other one up for you. It talks about, oh, that's the one.
Yeah.
It moves from, and I know I just talked about I am, but it moves from the personal, when you really begin to embrace that idea, it moves from away from the personal focus of, you know, what's in it for me, what am I going to get out of this, to what am I contributing to the world? How am I contributing to the world? Getting
Yeah.
clear about exactly how your voice contributes to the world and who the group of people that it is intended for you to speak to. And so one of the other trainings that's offered in the Freedom area, it surrounds the team building, the quantum, and Gabby called it quantum team building, which I love,
Yeah.
which means it's universal quantum team building. I mean, I get like goose pimply just thinking about that. And so we talked about when you call forth your team, you have to, one of the things that we learn with teachers like Dr. Joe Dispenza is, you know, gratitude opens up is the key, one of the key foundational tools. When you open your heart and your mind up to gratitude, then it opens up the whole universe to you.
Yeah.
So you start off by appreciating your team, the people that you're going to be working with and interacting with as you're moving about, sharing your voice with the world. And what do I appreciate about my team? I appreciate, and this is what came through for Goldie, we are wealthy, we are waking, we are generous, we are gracious, we are abundant, we are knowing, we are arising, we are grounded. That's pretty deep. It's like we're arising and we're grounded. That's deep. You got to be deep to be arising and grounded at the same time. So we're like we're an awesome group of beings. That's all I can say. And and we are now, meaning we're in the, you know, Eckhart Tolle and so many other ancient teachers. It's now the present moment is all that really exists. And we can talk about different quantum levels, experiential levels, and as to why that is not so much the belief, but the awareness that now is the present moment is all that we really have. And it's like, what do I love about my team? We are wisdom, we are knowing, we are glowing, we are alive, we are creative, we are inspiring, we are stimulating, we are present, and we are joyful. I am like, so like Nina said, it's like, even though we've never met in person, it's like we're soul sisters. You know, she's my sister from another mister. You know, it's like just immediate connection. And that's what happens when you connect with your tribe, with your people, you know. And as I call all the beautiful souls into my space, and I'm experiencing this so much more in my life. I just want to share this before I go on, and then I'll continue with the screen share. But one of the things that I'm becoming well versed in, and me and Nina just talked about this extensively, is learning about advertising on the internet. I'm not a tech person. And so I'm becoming familiarized with that. And so I wrote up this ad content. And what I realized in writing the ad content, and I was telling my story, my progression moving to this point, there are just so many unbelievable human beings that are just showing up in my life right now. And I'm kind of like, where did you come from? And so
Yeah.
it's like they'll come across my radar and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting being, interesting person. And but I'm busy, you know, I got stuff going on. I'm studying neuroscience and psychophysiology and writing books. And so I'm busy. So and then the person will come back through another direction. I was like, there's
you again.
So they keep showing up. People like Nina and several others, you know, I just point out. And so when I look at what's on my plate right now, I'm in awe. I'm in the gratitude. I can't even express the gratitude. I'm just like, how did I wind up here with so many magnificent shining lights participating with me in this journey of life, you know, during a time where most people are just pulling out their hair, they're going crazy, they're ready to jump over the side of the bridge. And when you turn on the news, it's for good reason. When I turn on the news, it makes me wonder how, but it's like, I can't live there. I realize I cannot live there. I have to live in the conscious realm.
Yes. And I told you, I agree with you so much. I went for dinner with a good friend of mine yesterday, and that was actually a conversation. I said, we gotta hold the light. You gotta stay on the shiny path. You gotta hold the positive and hold that energy, right? Because if you start to go down the other route, and it doesn't mean we don't know it's there. We know it's there, but let's focus on the good and let's amplify the good. And the more good and more positive and more conscious, as more aware we are pulling in the right direction. We're getting somewhere, you know, as the humanity, for sure.
Absolutely. So that's what's going on. That's what we're experiencing. And I go back to the last aspect of this particular training. After you call in your tribe, it's like, okay, who am I going to be? Who am I evolving into as these human beings are showing up in my life, these high vibrational human beings?
Yeah.
And again, I'm calling in the ones that are wealthy, the ones that are waking, the ones who are generous, the ones who are gracious, the ones who are abundant, the ones who are knowing, the ones who are arising, the ones who are grounded, and the ones who are now. And as I call them in, I am conscious of the fact that I am. I am conscious of the fact that I am the best version of me. As I call them in, I communicate quality content, meaning when I have a conversation with Nina, or when I post something on Facebook, for the most part, or when I post something in my groups, you know, my personal page, I might goof off. It's going to be quality. It's going to be something that's going to contribute something to you. It's going to make you think about something, or make you pause, or inspire something, or remind you of an experience that you had was similar, or remind you of who you are as a divine being. You know, I'm going to communicate quality content. As I call them in, I am wisdom. I'm communicating wisdom. I've been around for a few years. I'm not 12. I've been around. I know some stuff. Yeah, so I'm going to communicate, not that I'm all knowing or all wise, but there's some things that hopefully I can share that might, you know, inspire something in other people. And when I call them in, I am knowing. I'm aware of who I am in terms of the universal scheme of things. And I mean, there's just so many aspects of that we can discuss, like the fact that we're all made of stardust. That is like an awesome conversation that can go on for hours, you know, and these are some of the things that we're having conversations about in some of our groups. As I call them in, I'm knowing, and I'm glowing, and I'm living, I'm creating, I'm inspiring, and I'm stimulating, and I am present, I am joyful, and I promise to exercise, take vitamins, and drink water daily. Those are
I love your last sentence there. Yes, I'm going to do an exercise and a vitamins, drink my water. Okay, good.
Get back earth to earth. These are things I need to remind myself to do as I am evolving and being. And so again, this is the information. These are just my notes. I see right took right here. September 23rd, real workshop of Gabby Kowalski. Some of the information that's coming through by way of some of these workshops that are transpiring in conscious communities like the Freedom Era. And so I'm happy to be here today. I feel energized just sharing. And I think that's how we know when we're on the right path. It's like you might get up and there might be several things weighing heavily on your mind or whatever, or maybe you haven't gotten enough physical exercise in for the week because you're holed up in your house or whatever's going on, but your energy is a little bit low. And then you tune on to a Zoom call or a Facebook Live or whatever, and you start talking about these things that we're talking about. You start having these conversations, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm ready to go now. I'm ready to go now. And you haven't had any green tea. You haven't had a shot of anything. It's just shot of adrenaline from life. It's like talking about the truth of our existence. And
so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you so much. And yeah, exactly. It's like you're saying, you know, it's like this energy is just going right. I know, like every Saturday morning we have these team meetings, and you get off the call, you're like, yeah, okay, let's go. Everybody's like on fire, and it's like, okay. And here goes Nina, get down to the ocean and float in the ocean. Let's go to the ocean. Right. Well, thank you. I mean, thank you for adding so much value, Goldie. This is the thing. This is when we can start to tap in to this knowledge and actually start to implement it.
Right.
It's you know, you can read any book on the planet, but if you don't implement it, it's no use. But when you start to implement, more and more people start to implement this kind of way of thinking.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and you know, as a note, it can be scary, it can be intimidating. Those of us, you know, have come from various different backgrounds, whether it's religious beliefs or whatever, communities that we grew up in that, you know, were always there to remind us to, you know, remain in this box. You're not supposed to think outside this box. And if you do, there's something wrong with you, or you know, and so to have the courage to be able to say, this is what resonates with me. This is what resonates as truth. So I'm going to step out. I'm going to have the courage and to step out on social media and talk about it. I mean, it's one thing to talk about it in one of your little private groups at home, but then to put your voice out there in the world, it does require a lot of courage. And like you said, Nina talks about implementing baby steps. And so that's what we're doing. And I'm grateful and excited.
Wow, you're a fantastic, amazing, beautiful human being. I feel your energy. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's here. Let's do it. You know?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you so much. And yeah, let's do this again sometime soon, huh?
Definitely.
I think we should.
We'll talk soon. Peace from another
Lots of love.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Let's see if we can end this now, right?